And this is how we roll. And now we will get a lot of extra mana and we can start milling them, which is nice. And we can steal their cards from the graveyard. Oh, this is this is an interesting one. They get 2 cards, then we try to play Warden or Farewell, depending on the situation. Helix, alright, this is actually insanely nice. Let's go for the Warden. Let's get rid of this. Here's the March. That is an answer. This is already an answer. Hello everyone, it's Sloth here, and today one of the most underrated control decks in Standard. This Boros control is absolutely smooth at dealing with all the aggro decks because you have Reveries, Helixes, Lockdowns, extremely good mana base for casting those on turn 2, and with the Emperor and Burn Down the House you have so much removal and so many threats that basically aggro decks cannot really kill you unless you have really bad draw and you don't really draw anything. On the other side, against the control decks we have so much value. We include the Realmbreaker, suddenly your sweeper becomes your win con, and with some planeswalkers and things like Sanctuary Warden that can absolutely punish the populate players that seem to be kinda popular lately, you can absolutely do so much. And with all the life gain in this deck, Staff of Completion, especially against control decks, becomes your huge drawing engine. This can draw you 5 cards, man. With Sunset Revelry, Helix and Emperor you can life gain so much. Also the Celestus. So the deck has a lot of going for it. I really think you will enjoy it. We will have some insane games today, so I hope you will have a good fun. And yeah, if you want to subscribe and be first to see those decks, don't forget to click the button and like the video. Alright, have fun and enjoy. Alright, have you seen this one before? So our opponent is still mono-red and they will still do the mono-red things. What do we go for? I'll probably try to march if that's a 1-drop with a counter. But we'll see, Maybe we just go Realmbreaker. The problem is that after we tap with the lockdown, there's the slick shot threat. So if they plot right now, we might be in some serious trouble. Here's the Swift Spear. And I think they won't pump. I think they lost so many games to this that they finally learned. Do we want to mitigate this damage? Yeah, because I kinda want to play the Realmbreaker, I think. Okay, they have no instants. No 1-mana instants. Right? I think so. Alright, so the next turn unfortunately might be the Slick Shot. But not much you can do about it. So let's prepare for 15 damage out of nowhere. Oh man, if you tap in Standard, you are dead. Rukus is amazing when your opponent is tapped, so they will get some guaranteed value. However, Lockdown is also very good at getting rid of this extra value, but they will get 1 insane turn. Here's the Slick Shot. Is that only Rukus or more? Anger. Anger is their best card with this kind of setup, and the land is probably their best draw right now. So, only 9 damage out of nowhere. Makes sense. And the Devils will be pretty useful. I don't want to pain myself, so let's go like this. And now we go with the Parlor, right? And we'll see. We have a lot of good cards. Do we really need double lockdown, especially that we have burned down the house? I don't think so. I think we already had the lockdown turn. We need something like Sanctuary Warden or Emperor or something that is, heavy on the value. Let's see, how much damage? Alright, only 6 damage out of nowhere. Makes sense. And the Helix is actually really good here. Let's go with Mirex because we won't use Field of Ruin. So this could be the Realmbreaker. And it will be. So, do we go with Helix right now? I think we do. It's really the best play. Otherwise we open ourselves to a lot of problems and he shouldn't have another creature. Like usually they whiff on creatures at some point because deck is pretty heavy with the spells, see? And this is how we roll. And now we will get a lot of extra mana and we can start milling them, which is nice. And we can steal their cards from the graveyard. Oh, this is an interesting one. But for this turn we go with the Devils. And probably the Realmbreaker. So we definitely go with 2, right? I think that's how we do it. We keep 1 for the for defending. It could be wise to use 2 of them, so if they play a huge creature, you know, we can just trade against it instead of just chump blocking. But that should be okay. Man, you are seeing Realmbreaker, milling and mono red. It seems they have some burn spell, right? And they barely play lands in this deck. Alright, so what is their best draw? Probably Slickshot. I might also go with Mirex, but we have 4 mana, so we can just go both ways. I don't think we'll actually mill them with this. If he plays Mishra's Foundry, we can just kill it on the next turn. Second card that I'm considering is like Lightning Strike, but if they have it, they will just play it in response, so we don't gain too much. I think it's Slickshot just because we cannot block it with the Devil, and that's a big problem. So if they draw Slickshot into any buff spell, they will actually win. So let's go. Will they answer? Are they scared that we'll hit the card from their hand? If they have burn spells, they should actually answer with all the burn spells to the face. If that's play with fire, alright, Slick Shot. That's the one, right? I want to make sure, I don't want to miss it. Slick Shot Show Off, yep. You won't show off on this game. Here it is, man, they had Ancestral Anger on top. Alright, so they only have Monstrous Rage basically. They play the case version. 2 Lightning Strikes. And okay, 3 Shocks, man, they are overdoing it. Alright, 1 problem solved. And we can use Mirex probably, because that means faster Lipa. As I mentioned, I don't think we'll mill them. We have enough mana for our top deck, so even if we draw Sanctuary Warden, we should be okay. Sorry about that, not intentional. And they cannot play anything unless they draw creature. However, when they draw a creature, oh man, that's a desperate. I would love to be able to kill it so I can burn them for 3. Probably worth it. He really needs a creature with haste, because trample from the Monstrous Rage will make a difference. So I wonder, maybe I should start playing more carefully. And like, it's hard. I need some decent draws, man. But we are not getting them. It's just a land. We also don't get Celestus even, so we cannot cycle it. I mean, we have enough mana, so maybe we'll draw Celestus and we can cycle it later. Alright. I mean, they can deal so much damage, man. So it's 4, 5, 6. And even then I'm not killing him. And I would need to attack for 3 turns and him not having a creature. So I think we still go like, it's only 1 damage mitigation. It's probably not worth it, honestly. So either, okay, so no sense to keep 1. Either we keep 2, or we just go all in. Right, I think we'll try to finish the game like this. Also, 1 good draw from the top absolutely finishes the game, kinda. Like, if we get Sanctuary Warden, we can draw cards and they cannot go through it. So we are trying to be very aggressive right now. And we'll see how it goes. It's not easy for him to deal 7 damage out of nowhere. I think he can deal like 6 or something. I didn't see Squee in this version, so we will still mill him, right? And it always feels great to mill an aggro deck. Alright. We're stealing his lands. And we are getting our lands. Man, I'm drawing lands from both decks. Feels awesome. Alright. 1 more turn like this. And even though... oh man, this will be awkward. Play with fire, that's insanely good draw, man. Alright, let's see the scry. And we'll make sure that the Realmbreaker is useful here. Oh, you want to keep on top? Ah? Oh, we will make it more interesting. Alright, we'll do it like this. It hurts a little bit more when you think you're close to getting it. But jokes aside, oh, bottom. So it doesn't make sense to mill it. It's just a random card from the top. Let's see it. Kumano faces Kakazan. Alright, a creature, but in many turns. And the game will be over by then. We definitely go with the Might. If I draw any kind of Helix, he's dead on this turn. And, you know, let's get more. Why not? Why not? Man, that was the top deck. Like this Goblin, or would-be Leafar probably. It is possible we just attack on... Oh, okay, with this draw we won. See, one good draw is all that matters. So we will do a very different thing on this turn. We don't need to go all in. We just need to poke him a little bit, so the next turn is Leafar, and now this gives us the most defense. We have basically 3 toughness here. Because of Monster Strike, right? So it will be a Trampler. Alright, let's see it. Let's see it. He has to use everything. And I think with this he lost. Told you, one good draw and we are absolutely fine. Just don't draw so many lands. Also, if we drew Celestus, it would be so much easier. I would use all of this mana to double cycle the cards. I mean, they have to attack, right? No way. Really? And is that a mono-red math? Because I'm attacking you with 7 creatures and you are blocking 1. What? Alright. Alright. I'll take the win, you know? I'll take the win. Alright guys, we are on the play with March, Reverie and some good value for the late game, so it should go very nicely. We definitely don't need more lands. Even though it's a red one, but we don't really need double red for a very long time. And I mean, we will go with it. Alright, we don't have a pain land, so we are not life gaining on the next turn. I'm considering flipping. Cycling cards basically, but I'm not sure if that's worth it. Like, they will have creatures very, very soon. So we will just get more value. We are playing 1 card a turn, he will be playing more than 1 a turn, but see? To be absolutely honest, I probably just want to kill it. Like, it's such a scary card. You need to get it out of the game, basically. Just because he will unload his hand very quickly with this card on the board. That's one of the downsides. If you really will go risky and play it on turn 2 and tap out, you can, you know, absolutely lose all the value. Unless you have another one in the hand. I think we still get the Reverie, right? And they didn't really get the discount. That's interesting. That means they don't have 2 mana enchantments unless it's Ossification. Because otherwise they would play 2-drop that gets discounted. Probably. I think so. Likely. Alright, and we can still... Oh no, we cannot draw a card anymore. Oh, that's unfortunate. But we should be okay anyway. Moment, we need to tap right. They don't have instant, so let's make sure that, you know, the mana is a little bit wonky. It won't change anything, but it fixes our mana. And I don't have other plays anyway. Yeah, so, man, we are not getting good value from Reveries on this turn. We only get the tokens. On the next turn, we burn down the house. Yeah, I don't think he will kill me, right, in 1 turn. Like, from 20, this deck cannot deal so much damage, even with, like, multiple Mishikos, right? And Mishiko costs white mana, so they only can play 2 at the most. Alright, good deal. They are creating creatures that don't cost cards. Good for them, good for them. We probably burn down the house. They get 2 cards. Then we try to play Warden or Farewell, depending on the situation. Helix. Alright, this is actually insanely nice. I can go only to 3 cards. That's the lowest. I could actually just go Farewell on the next turn. That's an interesting idea, because then he doesn't draw cards. But we don't really need to do it. I think we go Reverie. This is as good value as we'll ever get. because I want to force him to play more into the board. This, like, those cards don't really exist. You can think about it that it's 0 card investment, and those are also 0 card investment because he's drawing cards. So the only card we are really getting is the Naturalis, and that's why we have both 4 cards, because every card he played is refilling itself. So if he goes super all-in on the Naturalis, we just Helix it, and then he has no value. I actually don't mind the discount that he's getting, because I want him to multi-spell as hard as possible, because everything he plays dies to Farewell and probably burn down the house as well. Alright, I'll take it. That means we can absolutely chill out. The best draw from the top is a land that is untapped, so we can play the Warden. Because right now, we get dealt literally no damage, man. We actually life gained 1 on this turn. He will cycle, so this is his full value that he was building for such a long time. And it's kinda fine. We just need to... Okay, this is a very nice draw. This is a really nice draw, right? But do I want to burn down the house? No, I think we just go with the Emperor. Because of how good it trades right now. Especially after double ossification. Yeah, we should be winning this. The only thing holding us back is that we didn't hit our 6th land for the 2-game winning plays. But that shouldn't be a problem. And while Naturalis is a great card, right now it doesn't make any difference because they can already play all their cards. So it's basically a 2-2 lifelinker and that's it. And with the Emperor we can get such advantage on board that we'll actually win without those cards. We trade for the best creature, even though it's a 2-2. This one is way scarier. And they didn't even see our... Man, they scooped and we had on like 3 plays that instantly win the game after what he had. So we were like 2 levels ahead of him in this game. Alright then, our opponent is going first. We have double Reverie, so we should be able to survive, but we'll see. Whenever I start the game, I'm already in full can I live longer than 2 turns mode. And guess what? It worked. It worked. Let's see how insane their opening is, because we don't have a lockdown or a burn down the house, so we might have some road ahead. The worst case is Artifact into... Alright. I think we might main phase Helix here. It could be good enough. It also kills a creature for Knight of Chaos. They can play a land, but then that means they convoke for 2 and not for 3, so they cannot get recruiters. So I think it's worth it all around. Especially with this draw. Do I need double white mana? I already have it here, but we can just use Mirex on this turn because we want to main phase anyway. We won't draw cards with Reveries, and don't you worry, they will have more creatures and we will have less life. Like, it's gonna happen. So we will get the, as much value as we can anyway. Alright, possibly Knight of Chaos, but... Man, we really need to draw into those burn down the house. Alright, he has only 1 red mana, so it's not Gleeful Demolition, and they already played the land. Cavern can give red mana, but not for sorcerer spells. Warden. Alright. Warden is kinda scary because it's already a 2-3 at basically no cost. So no, it's looking... scary, to be honest. A little bit scary, but if we get good draws, we can absolutely do it. Absolutely. I could go Field of Ruin, but then I only have... Yeah, I only have 1 mana, I need more. And we'll pain ourselves for the Emperor. Alright. That's how we do it, and that's why we don't mind playing Painlands in this deck. Because they sometimes actually live game us. I wanted to make sure that we tap the right way. Alright. I mean, we have something in the board. If they attack, we will have the Emperor. And we might be forced to main phase Emperor because Vigilance is very, soon on the table here. I'm a little bit scared because there is a chance the Warden goes above 5-5. Well, that's insane. Oh man, that's not great. By the way, if they had this, I'm pretty sure they messed it up. They probably auto-named Human, while the correct choice was to name the Vampire, because then they would have double red and they could do it last turn. If that's the case, this will be such a problem. The Vigilance came way faster than it should, so it defeated the whole, strategy I had in mind. And I'm not sure what we can do with it. I will keep the Emperor. I'm not Field of Ruining anything, so we just go with the Emperor. I can get rid of the Warden, but it's not worth it. The problem is that I need to hit Farewell now or Lockdown. But we have 5 of those, so it shouldn't be too hard. So, alright. With Lockdowns, I don't think it's such a big deal. We just need to draw well. We need to be good at magic. And as you know, we often are. Alright, so they will full swing probably. That means Emperor will get some extra value. Go, full swing. We know you want it. That's what you do. Alright, that means we also trade for the Warden. And the flip will happen, but not yet. Alright, probably everything that moment. Alright, we probably want to block the reinforcements, I think. Nah, seems about right. So we get a lot of damage, but with Reveries we don't as much care. This solved is the problem, of course. So we definitely go like this. We don't need mana for this turn. I could see if the payment will make a difference. I will take it. It's not a bad card. We are not cycling, so it's more of a, delaying tool, but I think it should delay quite well. And with the Warden we can actually survive this way longer than we should. Alright. So do I exile a card and make another Emperor? Or just make a token and Reverie? I think we just go Reverie, man. Isn't super optimal, but I think it's good enough. This gives us a lot of staying power. So he basically has 7 damage in the board. And it's all about those top decks. That's an extremely good top deck. Not only he killed one of the creatures, but he instantly pumps, creatures even more. So he is really good at magic. We have a decent one, but it's not, crazy good one. Alright. So it seems they decided to go by air fully. Or just make a decision that makes no sense. It's also pretty nice. Alright. Okay. So, first things first. By the way, we could go with the Warden already. Warden is not bad. But we can also go with the Emperor, which is probably better, right? So we live gain, we get creatures, we only get hit by a 7/6. They will probably also scry on top of everything. And then we'll try to make an Emperor play, I guess. No reason to attack. We could also main phase just to live gain. It's not the worst, to be absolutely honest. We want to take one counter from this, so maybe not. I probably want to save all the shield counters. On the bright side, even if they draw Recruiter, they cannot re-attack by ground. They have a lot of attack, but the toughness is super low, so we can always trade basically against them. This is the only problem, and this is what I mentioned. By the way, Lockdown probably wins the game on the spot every turn. So we need to play Warden and start, getting there. Let's see if they keep on top. That's kinda important. On top. So they like the card. They think it's a likey. Alright. That's a lot of damage, man. Let's play the Emperor. We go to 2, right? I believe. And we can make a Samurai. There's not, super much reasoning behind it. Let's go for the Warden. Let's get rid of this. Here's the March. That is an answer. This is already an answer. I will try to scare him a little bit with the huge Warden, and we could be attacking, but there's no point in it. And with the match we solve the last problem, and then we can start getting advantage with the Warden. So you can see that we have, I actually forgot that also the March solves it. So we had so many creatures, instantly our opponent draws insane value card. Alright, man, those top decks are the reason he's even in the game right now. But it's fine, it's fine. So we have so many creatures that I think we're kinda okay here. So we use the March to get rid of the Warden, then we can have another Emperor, and because everything is... And yes, I could use, you know, -2 to get rid of one of the tokens to prevent the Scry, but then he plays one of those and I wasted the Emperor, so I don't like this play really. And don't forget, every turn we can just draw Lockdown, which kills everything except Knight of Chaos, that is killed by the Emperor. Yep. Unfortunately, he's also bigger than our 6-drop. A 1-drop. Makes sense. Alright, that's it. Should they play this? I think there's a legit reason to try to play it. Gleeful Demolition. Alright, sure. Man, this guy is really good at Magic. And you can see that at some point you just need to draw a sweeper because the efficiency of those aggro cards is just insane. Well, that's probably not my #1 choice, you know. So how do we go about it? Alright, I think we kinda need to do it main phase. Colorless and white. We need to be really careful about it, about this one. Alright, I want to keep another Emperor. I could get rid of +1/+1 counter, it doesn't make a huge difference to be honest. And then we can life gain more. I think it's a good play. But first let's see the card. Yeah, we cannot attack through this, so we just keep the other cards. And we keep the shield counter. Well, not a good draw, that's for sure. However, we have a lot of creatures. Man, I will never draw this lockdown. Alright, what do we do? I can -2. It seems okay because we have Emperor. I could also make another thing, so we have 6-7 blockers. Well, this is exactly the last card. Alright, let's go with the Emperor. Like, we want as much value as possible. I was considering Realmbreaker. It is a decent card because, you know, it gives us more mana, I guess, but we don't super need it. 1-drop that draws cards. Makes sense. Alright, let's see. They should stop having gas at some point. Like, we are 17 cards deep. I think even the aggro deck should stop having some value. Because it's kinda incredible they can just keep going for like 4 turns longer than normal aggro. Just because Knight of Chaos and, you know, all those Inspector tokens basically. 1 card. A lot of decisions. No way he's having another Knight of Chaos. Are you serious? Man, this aggro has more value than the control decks. It's also able to win on turn 3 with no counterplay. Like, well, that's some. Alright, so that kept him in the game again longer than it should be possible. Let's go with the Emperor, because fortunately he still drives this deck, so there are some weak spots. So let's go for this -2.
Just underwhelming.
And I'm salty, I'm playing control deck and I'm trying to fight for value against the aggro deck and they're winning. Like, it's actually crazy. Alright, another draw that is not great at this point. So. I don't think the counter matters. I think we just keep going here, right? No reason, I think I will just remove it. So we can threaten the -2 on the Emperor, and that forces them to consider attacking her. Of course they won't, but you know, we are trying. We could go for the treasure map. And at this point I don't think lockdown, if we draw it on this turn, will help us. Just because this will kill us then. So maybe we just want a random draw here. Because I could play treasure map and draw and scry once. Then I have 4 mana. It is tempting. But I will just go... No. Let's make good plays. I think that's a better play, strictly. I wanted to just, you know, see what I get, but, you know, I should probably try to play optimally here. And if nothing, we'll just play the Realmbreaker. Well, that was not a great draw for sure. Alright, let's attack. Warden is really great here, just because she not only draws cards, but also creates a blocker. And it's still... Oh man, our draws are not very good. Like, we won those cards way earlier, when we didn't have anything to do with our mana. But now it's super late for those kind of things. So 5, so 5, and 3. So right now we can block everything, theoretically. But they will create 2 extra. I think we're actually dead, man. I think our draws are so bad, we actually didn't do it and didn't do enough. I think I guess I should make a -1. Right? I had to do mine. I didn't realize that we are under so much pressure that we are already dying to Lifar with, what? 8 creatures in the board. Are you serious? Yeah, I think it's Lifar, right? 5, 10 creatures. So 2 go through, and 2 creatures is 6 damage. We will check the top card, but man, this is actually insane. Yep, it's even more. Well, that's some good aggro. And here we are with another... Are you serious? We will lose to this, right? Impressive. Alright then, this is a very weird hand, man. But you know what? We can have 1 white mana, or potentially go Field of Ruin, because you know that we will need some. And let's go for a mountain first. We might draw Helix, who knows? And we need to be really careful with the white mana. We need to get into the lockdown. That's our win con. We need to survive long enough. This is non-basic land, that's nice. Alright, this is huge. Listen, we will get some damage. But we can lock down on the next turn, absolutely. This is a good draw. Alright. We will have double white mana once this game. But I think that should be enough. Man, we have so many answers. Like, the lockdown will be just the start of, you know, anti-aggro things we have here. Alright, show me. It might be some kind of weird resolute reinforcements, but I don't think it should be. Like, I told you, man, our strategy is just to get double white mana. And as you can see, even with a messy draw, we can get there. Alright, I hope you enjoyed all of those games, and I'll be honest, this is one of my favorite decks, just to know, go into the ladder and smork some aggro. The mana base for Helix, you know, Reveries and Lockdown is so smooth in this deck. It also gives you a chance to play 4 Pallors. That makes your early game way better, just because you can get the right cards. You don't get as much mana screwed, you can, you know, dig into those Lockdowns on turn 3. This is really cool stuff. Honestly, what did I like about the deck and what I didn't? I mean, the Stone Brain is a bit of a wonky choice, so you know, it doesn't make deck super consistent, but I wanted to make, like, it's obvious that this deck will absolutely perform against the aggro. Like, this is the prime matchup, so I wanted to make sure that it's more balanced, and I tried to include a lot of cards that increase the win rate against the control. So for example, Stone Brain, nobody really expects it, so during the game against control you can probably sneak it and get rid of all the Jaces in the deck, and that suddenly puts you ahead of your opponent, because he cannot mill you, and that means he needs to fight against double Field of Ruin and 4 Mirexes for the full game, while you also pressure them with Planeswalkers, burn down the houses, Realmbreakers. Like, this deck can absolutely, you know, outvalue control decks, and yeah, against aggro you have just so many tools, man, and this is one of your decisions if you want to, shape this deck into your meta, you can just skip on the value cards like Stonebrain, Staff of Completion, Realmbreaker, and Treasure Map, and just go anti-aggro fully. And man, you will have such insane matchup against the aggro that they probably wouldn't even want to play against you. However, then you are losing more against control. So I wanted to keep it balanced so we can win against every matchup. And I think we are still favored against aggro very heavily with, like, Helix is insanely good card. It's also super cheap, so, even if you are on the draw, you can usually get rid of their big combo. They usually need like 3 mana to get Slick Shot going with some, buff spells, all of this stuff. So yeah, the only downside is that you need to be careful to hit it when they cannot pump it above 3 toughness. It's usually not hard to do, but you need to get there. And we still play marches, so those Swift Spears that are 5-6 with haste, you can always get rid of them for 2 mana. So the deck is really sweet. This is probably one of the least played control decks, and I think it absolutely has a place in Standard. Like, this is a very fun control to play with, and some of the cards are my favorite. Like, Burn Down the House is my favorite since a long time, because one of the downsides of playing sweepers is that they are dead cards against control, and this is actually really good against control, especially that it can kill planeswalkers. So you can think about it as a planeswalker removal that also forces your opponent to Sunfall on the next turn, and that means they are tapped out, so you can play Chandra, or just go Realmbreaker and start milling. Like, you have so many plays. So I really hope you enjoyed this one. Like, I will be playing Boros a bit more probably, but it was great. So hopefully you had a great fun. So thank you guys for watching, and see you tomorrow.
With